Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. What a week it has been. She saw me get the carrots out. This is the only thing that I found that she really likes, um, besides just pasture, which is fine. Hi, sweet pea. I know you like your carrot, huh? Hold on the carrots. Got it? There we go. Good job. Good job, Mama. So she's been adjusting really well. Um, But man, it's been a week. We've had a lot of new people find us this week on 3 Mississippi and kind of had an influx of new subscribers because of the Bringin' Beulah home video. Are you nibbling on me? What are you doing? Hi. I'll give you more later. Um, and which is amazing. It's really inching us up to that 100,000 subscriber mark, which is incredible. Um, that's been that just on the edge of just been on the edge of grasping that for a while now, and we're kind of making a rapid approach, it seems now, thanks to Beulah here. And uh, we couldn't be more grateful or excited about both things. Yes, hi, sweet peas. She's so much fun. I feel like she's really starting to. I don't have them on me. I know she really does go crazy for the carrots, as you can see. But yes, she's back here breathing heavy behind me. She's a hoot. Uh, but you know, I knew that there were crazy horse people. I know that's a thing. Um, but I had no idea. There's a lot of crazy horse people. And when I say crazy horse people, let me clarify. I've been in the chicken world, the poultry world, the fowl world, the goat world, and I thought that there were some really some people in those types of groups that were a certain way, very particular about certain things, and very oh, you should do it this way, or that's terrible for them, or whatever. You hear all the things. And I had adminned a lot of groups that were livestock groups. And so I saw and heard all kinds of different stories about these different factions of animals, including equine. But I had no idea that the horse people, some of them, not all of them, I feel like there's two factions of horse people. There's horse people that have farms that are used to being in a rural area where they have to learn how to take care of their animals' needs a little bit differently than if they were in the middle of a facility, or rather in the middle of a city with a facility nearby for all kinds of amenities, like people that stable their horses and out, a different facility, and then just go visit them once in a while. And all their needs are met and taken care of, and everything's paid for. Um, I just feel like there's two factions of people: the people that are more hands-on with their animals, and the people that are not as hands-on, maybe, or think that they watched a few YouTube videos on a subject and they know everything. And while YouTube can be very educational, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've learned a lot from YouTube. Um, and I have passed on things that I have learned over the years via YouTube myself, but it's not the be all end all, and there's always more than one way to skin a cat. Um, so there's always other ways to do things. There's different ways of raising your birds. There's different ways of taking care of your goats, and same is true for horses. There's different ways to do it. And some people are very, I could tell that they're the type of people that, like, they probably sterilized everything that their infant ever touched when they were little. If it fell on the floor, they probably boiled it right away. Like, it just, that kind of vibe, and while, yes, Beulah is a large animal and needs to be loved and taken care of and provided for, she's also an animal, and she's quite capable of surviving, aren't you? Yeah. And I don't think people give you enough credit for that, Beulah. Beulah is obviously a broke horse. She has been ridden in the past. For the last several years, she has not been really ridden and she has not been around other animals. And this was a big adjustment for her to come here and to, you know, be with people all the time now and to be able to share the fence line with the goats and stuff, which honestly, she doesn't take too much interest in them. She does go down there and graze a little bit, but she's like, whatever about it. She can see the other horses in the other pasture over here. Like right now, she's looking at them, but most of the time when they're over there, she pays them no mind. She doesn't seem to really have much interest in them. Um, People are saying, are you going to get another horse? Because she's lonely and horses are herd animals and that whole thing. My response to that, guys, is baby steps. We just flipped her entire world upside down. She's 13, 14 years old and she's adjusting. Her whole diet has just changed. She wasn't on this kind of pasture before. She was getting sweet feed and hay, and her diet is changing now. Her environment has changed. She has a lot more room to move around. She has several acres now to move about. She's getting worked with every day. These are all big changes for her. We did her hooves the other day, and that is something we will continue to do and stay on top of. She was on a harder ground than she is here on this pasture. And and this is nothing against Anthony, the gentleman who was so nice to give it to us. When I say these things about her condition, I'm not in any way trying to say that he was not taking care of her or anything like that. Everyone has their ways that they do things. And that is perfectly fine. But her hooves, in order to be ridden, her hooves need to be in better condition. When I say that, I'm not just talking about, they needed a trim. The pads of her hooves are very, very hard and can't even be shaved down with the blade, with a knife. So that's going to take time of being on this good pasture and eating this good pasture for those to soften up and for us to be able to finish trimming them all the way. I know a lot of people were saying, just hire a real farrier, don't do it yourself, don't have your neighbor help you. Let me explain that a little bit too. And I have answered this in the comments on the video about doing her hooves, but let me explain a little bit further. There is no local farrier here. There isn't one. There hasn't been one for quite some time. There is a guy that lives a ways away that occasionally comes to our town and does a few horses. That's all well and good. People were talking about, getting a certified farrier and make sure he's gone to school and this and that. In the US, you do not have to be certified to be a farrier. I have known a few farriers in my time. I have never once ever heard anybody talk about them being certified or anything like that. While yes, that's always an option in a lot of crafts and things, is to go get certified. I was a pharmacy technician for years and years and years. I was licensed and I was also certified, which was an additional thing that I went and did to make myself more valuable to the companies that I worked for, to give me a bargaining chip to maybe make a little more money. And it gave me the option to work nationally versus just in my state. Did I ever do it? No, but I gave me that option while I was certified. So yes, I can see the value in that. However, it is not a requirement to be a farrier in the US. It may be different in other countries, and that's cool, but here, that's not the case. And our neighbor Ross and his grandfather, what he told us the other day was that he used to work with his grandfather doing basically farrier work in town for a lot of years, and then they stopped. And hi, Sweet Pea. And he has been around horses and has been doing their hooves and taking care of them since forever. That's just how he's grown up. He works cattle and he works horses. That is his thing. He probably couldn't tell you much about raising chickens. I don't think he's ever raised a chicken. But the man knows horses and he knows cattle and he knows what he's doing. I can simply look across the field there and see his horse Clover and see what beautiful condition she is in, and know that he knows what he's talking about. So, there were some people that were saying like, oh, you're just trying to be cheap and save money and do it. It has nothing to do with that. I was willing to have the guy come the next time he was able to come to our town and do it, but it was going to be a little while. And when I talked to Ross about it, in case he knew someone else, he was like, no, I'll show you how to do it. I've always done this. And he's very knowledgeable. So I personally don't see a problem with doing things yourself and learning what to look for. I just did my goat's hooves the other day, and I did them right after we got them here on the property. And I did them again the other day. And I can tell you, I've noticed a difference in how quickly their hooves grew. And honestly, I've been meaning to do them for the last 2 weeks, but I was sick and didn't get a chance to do it. So I finally got around to doing it yesterday morning. Hi, baby. Now Bunko's over here. And, you know, they've grown fast. This pasture, it really makes a difference as to, their diet and how your hair, your fingernails grow. You guys know just from when your diet is different, when you're eating healthier, you notice things about your body that are different when you're just eating McDonald's 24/7, right? And the same could be said about, if you have your animals on a certain type of feed versus something that's more natural like the pasture. So that being said, you know, um, now I know, okay, I need to do their hooves a little bit closer together, um, because they had grown so much so quickly. So I had to reshape them quite a bit. And I knew that, but it's, when they're standing there, sometimes you don't notice it as much. And, but I've been looking at them going, yeah, I need to trim them. I need to trim them. And so I got out there and did it. But man, they fought me every inch of the way. Every inch of the way. They plumb wore me out doing their hooves the other day. But, and even Caroline, who's usually really good about that stuff, she even fought me. And I was like, what is going on here? This is nuts. So, that being said, it's good groundwork for her as well. It's a good way for her to learn to, listen to Frankie. Not that she's not listening to her, but groundwork, those of you that know about horses know that groundwork with your horse, which is things that you're doing to build that relationship, to get them to listen to you, to build the trust, um, to work on their obedience, all of those things. That's the stuff that's important that you do all the time, but especially before you're riding her. And with her hooves needing a little bit more attention before she can really be ridden, and that just being, letting her hooves kind of soften up a little bit so we can kind of trim her a little bit better on the pads that had kind of, I would almost describe it like it was a callus area a little bit, which is still not accurate, but it was hard. And that's just from being on the kind of ground she was on and, from her diet. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. I know a lot of you that watch Sippin' and Spillin' are not the people that I am addressing, but I know some of you had seen some of those comments and some of you had responded to some of those comments that people were making. And, I just want to say that there's a lot of knowledge. Ross has a lot of knowledge about horses and cattle. And I've seen him in action I know he knows what he's talking about. He's very smart. And I trust when he tells me something that's a good idea. I should do that. Versus, no offense to anybody, but versus somebody on the internet telling me that they know about horses and they think this. That's great. And I do take a lot of advice or information. If I hear the same things a lot of times, I'll look something up and I'll look into it, or I might say, oh, that's a good idea. I'll, and give it a shot. But it doesn't mean that it's the gospel just because somebody on the internet said it. You know what I mean? So I don't want that to come off as like, oh, I don't listen to anything anybody says either. But there's something to be said for, the people that you know in your life, that you've seen work their horses, that you've seen working their cattle, that you've seen, examples of all of that. It's just kind of, it makes a difference. It's like, yeah, that's legit. So I don't know, guys. That's my 2 cents on that. I felt bad. A lot of people were beating Ross up on that video, and that was just, to me, that wasn't cool. He took his time and his patience to really show Frankie and explain everything to her. He spent a couple hours with us that day, which, obviously it's condensed down in that video for obvious reasons. But yeah, Beulah's doing great, and she's adjusting. Frankie's loving having her, and she's an amazing addition to the farm, and we're very blessed that we have her here, and we're trying to give her the best life that we can. And I think that she's going to do really well here. So far, so good. I mean, we're going into week 2 here of having her, and she's thriving, and she loves her carrots, as we know. So anyway, guys, on that note, we're so close, literally so close to that 100K. Give me some ideas, guys, of what we should do for our big 100K video once we hit that mark, because it's right around the corner. We're 1,500 subscribers away from hitting that mark. And that's a big milestone. We get the fancy little plaque and the whole 9 yards. So you guys tell me, like, what do you want to see, like, for our big 100K, oh my goodness, video? If you guys have any ideas or anything like that, let me know. We might do a giveaway that week on our live, but definitely want to do a video to like commemorate that mark too. So anyway, if you guys have any ideas about that, drop them in the comments below and let me know. But so I look forward to seeing what you guys think about that. And if you guys have any cool ideas. It's warm out here sitting in the sun. It was all overcast when I came outside, and then the sun came out and it's beautiful. But now I'm sitting in the sun. It's kind of warm. But anyway, guys, I hope you're having a blessed day. And as always, safety's off.